What's good, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I am your host, Leon Jones. It is Tuesday, August 30th, 2016. You can catch me on Blog Talk Radio every Saturday from 12 to 2. That is Blog Talk Radio /411 Talk Zone Radio Show. Call-in number is 215-383-5785. Please like, share, and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show channel so I can continue to bring you the best YouTube content for educational purposes only. We're fair and balanced. This is the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show channel. We are like Fox News. Keep it objective. If you have a comment, just keep your comments pithy, straight to the point, no bloviating. If you have a topic that you would like for me to talk about, you can email me at lej6521@gmail.com. Today's topic is from a subscriber of mine. First request. It is from JJ1Mill. Person asked me to do a topic on political corruption. And I'll be happy to give you the information. Why is political corruption important? Because as the little guy or the low person on the totem pole, it does seem like we don't have any access to the political process until it is time to vote. That's every 2, 4, 6, 8 years. But here's the problem. When we vote, particularly in the presidential elections, our votes count toward the electoral college, which you need 270 electoral college votes to win. Now, we have the gubernatorial race coming up here in Indiana. Popular vote's going to win. John Gregg, and I can't remember who the other guy is. Because Mike Pence is going off to be the vice presidential candidate for Donald Trump. But I want to talk about how this process takes place. First of all, the political process in this country is run as an oligarchy. What do I mean? Oligarchy means for the rich, by the rich. That means the wealthiest people put up a lot of money to decide where this country is going to go. It could be contracting companies, lobbyists, hospitals. These are engines who have a lot of money. Now, the big donors are buying the politicians. We know that. Lobbyists, they're writing our laws. There's a lot of lobbyists. What they do, they pay money to your Congress people. Because the big people that are actually part of the legislation process are your legislatures. Now we're talking about the House and the Senate on a national level. But you have a handful of candidates who have exposed the corruption. Now, you have two big engines, and I want to give you their names. You have George Soros, billionaire on the Democratic side, and you have the Koch brothers on the Republican side. Now, if you look at each and every politician, one item that they do to keep themselves in office, the party who is in power. I'll give you an example. If the Republicans are in power, you have the Republican candidate running against the Democratic candidate. Well, the way the Republican candidate assures himself way back in office is they change the district maps. Now, what is a district map? Okay, let me give you an example. Each state in a union has to get representation. This is where the Electoral College came from, because if we didn't have it, the populated states such as California, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida would elect a president. Okay, here's how the system works. Each state is represented by 2 senators. Based on the population, the other part of the Electoral College comes to effect based on the amount of population, which creates the districts for Congress people. In other words, California and Ohio are not going to have the same Electoral College. In fact, California has 54 Electoral College votes. Ohio, I believe, has 21 or 23. But either way, you have 2 senators in California and 52 Congress people. That adds up to 54. That's how the Electoral College is calculated. Now, the way the process is played out is, if I'm a contractor and I work certain contracts, suppose I am a construction contractor. I know this politician in power, he's for building roads. So how am I going to get this guy elected? I'm going to pay him some money. And it's also a tax write-off. Now, is it legal? JJ1 Mill, it is legal. So we deceive it or conceive it as construction. I mean, as corruption. I'm thinking construction. It's corruption. It really isn't. When I have a business, would I donate to a politician to keep contracts coming to me? I certainly would. The reason why? My company is contributing to the welfare and the safety of people. Also creating and keeping jobs. Little businesses can do the same thing. Write it off as a tax write-off. Where it gets cloudy is we had I call it the Federal Election Campaign Act of 1971, known as FECA. Well, that was supposed to control all of this money going into elections. It was amended in 1974. Then in 2002, you had McCain-Feingold. John McCain is a senator of Arizona. Russ Feingold is a senator of Wisconsin. They came together to try to put together a measure to stop campaign financing. It's called Campaign Finance Reform. It didn't work. Because lobbyists, they also make money. Consultants make money. And a lot of these big donors know each other. I mean, if you look at how much money is going into this election, it's astronomical. The individuals who have the money are running this country. Insider trading is illegal. Politicians do it. Martha Stewart was arrested. Not for insider trading. She was doing it, but she lied about it. What makes this crony capitalism suspect is everything that I'm talking about, if I do as a regular citizen, I'm likely to go to jail for. It's funny how these politicians come in, make about roughly $135,000, $140,000, and they come out millionaires. Well, they're millionaires because there are backroom deals going on all the time. This is what makes it sleazy. Now, we're going to stop it. But it has to be real reform. But we don't have reformers in office to do it. One thing about a politician, they will tell us what we want to hear. Or they'll tell us part of an issue. But it's never the full issue. This is why things never get done in office. Every election you hear about education. Well, the unions, the teachers' unions, that's also a big lobby group. A lot of money in these candidates. Real reform must be reached with individuals who aren't tempted by the system. So that's what's going on. To sum it up, it's all of your big donors who are giving money to the politicians. They're writing the laws for us. Nobody's reading them. The health care bill, almost 3,000 pages of information that nobody read. I still don't understand it to this day. But these donors, these CPACs, these constituents, they are the pocketbook or the politicians. This is why your voice never gets heard. But still go out and vote. It doesn't work on the national elections. Believe it or not, politics is local. Now, you can easily spot it in local politics. Here's why. There's not as much money flowing into local politics. Now, here's what you got to do as well. Be a watchdog. That's why you have to have a good media outlet. Utilize YouTube. This is what I'm doing. Anybody that asks me about politics, I'm going to tell them, now here's how the game works as well. If you have an issue, or if you have a movement, be well financed, well organized, and have an agenda. This is why gay rights is passed. Because even those advocates had a lot of money. It's just like anything else. Politics is a dirty business. This is why lawyers are shrewd. Most of your politicians are lawyers. You ask some of the politicians today, do they want campaign financing? No, they don't even want term limits. Why would I want term limits when my life is going to be comfortable? Look at the president. I mean, Obama's going to make millions. He's going to have lifetime Secret Service for him and his family. Some of these other politicians, there's one I listen to right now, and he does tell the truth. And everybody in the Chicago area, listen to WIND 560 from 2 to 5. But it's the Sean Hannity show from 2 to 5. From 5 to 8 Central. Joe Walsh. He'll tell you all about what's going on in politics because he was a congressperson and politics. I actually like Joe Walsh. I do listen to his radio show. I've called into his radio show. Good topics. He will also give you information on how the process works, and he tells the truth. He's been in. I also worked with a politician. I saw all the shenanigans that went in to this game. And it's a game. Like every other game, you got to compete. Even if it's dirty. You got to play to win. The best strategy is negotiation. Yes, it's corruption. But it's also deception. It's an oxymoron. Corruption and deception. But this is what we have. And until we come up with a way we can stop the shenanigans, it's going to happen. Now, there are a few individuals like Donald Trump. He knows it's a bad system. He said it. Big reason why it matters to us. Again, the politicians are going to tiptoe around the truth. They're going to call the issues anything less than corruption that downplays the importance of the issue and allows politicians, and this is what they do all the time, this is where the lie comes in. They offer weak and incomplete policies instead of real solutions. So this is why you don't really get what you want. You get the half truth. You got to listen. You got to read politicians' voting record. See how much money that politician's taking in. Now, Bernie Sanders was on that list of calling this malarkey corruption, but he has purchased 2 houses. He's a senator. He just turned Democrat. He's a socialist from Vermont. He was a presidential candidate. I'll give you some other guys who don't call it corruption. Some names you're familiar with. Jeb Bush, former governor of Florida. Ben Carson, he was a former presidential candidate as well. Lincoln Chafee, who was a Republican, then turned Democrat, then turned independent for Rhode Island. Chris Christie, Merry Christmas to everybody in New Jersey. You just got minimum wage raised to $15 an hour over the next 5 years. Big Chris Christie, I remember you. Hillary Clinton, she's big. A lot of money floating into her campaign. This is why they won't call it corruption. These are heavy hitters. Ted Cruz, senator from Texas. Carly Fiorina, Lindsey Graham, senator from South Carolina. Mike Huckabee, the huckster, former Fox News contributor and governor of Arkansas. Bobby Jindal, former governor of Louisiana. Yeah, I know all this because I studied all these people. John Kasich, former congressman, governor of Ohio. Martin O'Malley, this scum. Everybody from Maryland knows this guy. I'm from Maryland. Former governor of the state of Maryland. I call it the Socialist Republic of Maryland. Former mayor of the city that reads. I think it's the city that bleeds. That's Baltimore. George Pataki, governor of New York. Rand Paul, senator of Kentucky. Rick Perry, former governor of Texas and former presidential candidate in 2012 and 2016. Marco Rubio, senator from Florida. Jim Webb, governor of Virginia, Democrat. You see, these are the individuals that have been in office all their lives. That's why they don't see anything wrong with this corruption or this deception. They will go out when it's time to get the money. When they're down in the Capitol building, they don't care about you. This is why we have a two-party system. The Democrats and the Republicans. This is a bad political process. This is why people can't run for office. But I do urge everybody to get out and vote. It is your right. We fought for it. You have to continue to educate yourself. Without a political process works, it can benefit you if you have money. If you know the right people. And that's in any job. Because besides politics, it's with companies out here as well. The American way is capitalism. But crony capitalism isn't fair. It doesn't help the small business. And it continues to create monopolies in this country. Some of the big companies like AIG, they were bailed out. GM, they were all bailed out. Somehow they had money to donate to all these political parties to get a return on their investment. When in essence, we should have let those companies fail. That's called corporate welfare going up. Do a video on that as well. But let me sum it up. The political process is an oligarchy. It's run for the rich, by the rich. It's run by donors, big corporations, and lobbyists. Their agenda is put before anybody else's because it's about the money and it's to keep these big companies afloat. And your lobbyists are writing all the legislation, and your politicians are being bought by your big donors, which are your corporations. My job is to report the truth. Give you the best information that YouTube has to offer. This is why we are the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I am your host, Leon Jones. Thank you, JJ1 Mill, for your request. I've given you the information that you have asked for. Like, share, and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show on YouTube. If you like the video, give a thumbs up. If you don't, give a thumbs down. Hope everybody enjoyed the content that I've given you. I want to educate you all. A lot of us don't know about the political process. I'll do more videos because the election is coming up. It's important that we vote by looking at the issues instead of on emotion. In order to get things done, we have to play a bigger part of it. We need to get educated in college. The information on the internet, because there are a lot of issues out there that aren't discussed. I'm just giving you an overview of why we have this corruption. It's not going to stop until we form a coalition. And that takes money. And guess what? We even try to stop it. I'm going to make this last point. We become part of the system. Because who are we going to give the money to? Some politician. Some politician's going to go out on the campaign trail and give us the half-truth about fixing it. And it's never going to get fixed. We've just become a pocketbook. This politician. Thank you for listening to this edition of 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I am your host, Leon Jones. Always remember, be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Please be gentle to one another. Until next time, this is the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show.